And when I went and took my criminal justice classes, it was very, I would say, not great. It was disappointing. And I couldn't really get into the excitement of learning law and law theory. It was just the most boring thing I have ever done. And so when I was in college, I really thought back and I was like, why did I want to pursue this? And I was like, oh, it's because that guy was really excited about protecting the community. He was really wanting to get involved. And I was like, what am I excited about? And I was like, I play music, I work at a restaurant, but I was really into bodybuilding. I was always at the gym, I was always lifting weights, making plans for people. And so I said, maybe I should pursue this. And I switched to physical therapy. And again, I absolutely hated that class. It was the worst class ever. And I'm sorry if you've taken like anatomy classes or any type of physical therapy classes and you enjoy it. It was not for me at all. In fact, my final exam for anatomy during that first semester transition, it was a foot, and the foot had flags on all the different bones. And I literally put big foot, middle foot, and the little pig went to the market. And yeah, so obviously it was not for me, and probably not the most educated class that I took a final for. But when you go through college, you have to take what is called elective courses. And one of the courses I took was Python programming, and that was to get a technology credit on my degree. And again, no background whatsoever in programming or technology. And I fell in love with this class. And I realized it's because of how the class is taught, it's because how I'm learning. With law and physical therapy, it was a lot of it's this answer, this spelling, or it's incorrect. And that wasn't the type of person I was. I like to think outside of the box. I like to be creative with my solutions. I like to essentially take the side quest instead of the main quest in video games. In Python programming, I was able to do whatever I want as long as I was able to produce a product. And I really, really, really enjoyed that. I enjoyed to be an out of the box thinker. So I went ahead and switched to computer science. And of course, when you're going through college, the entire time you're thinking time is money, time is money, time is money. And that was what was in the back of my mind. So I'm in my third year of college, I'm pursuing computer science, and one of my professors came up and they're like, hey, we have a cybersecurity class. You should enroll in it. It goes towards your degree, it's not a waste of money. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, what's cybersecurity? And they're like, just go enroll in the class. And I'm like, okay, cool. So what's cybersecurity? And they're like, yeah, just go enroll in the class. I'm like, what is cybersecurity? And and I went in this class. I had no idea what it was. Again, like I had no information about cybersecurity. And I realized in the first class I took, I had been spending hours and hours coding for a project just so some internet troll can go in and break that code in like 3 seconds for their own like malicious intent. I was like, sign me up for this. This is cool. And I realized like my passions were really into I look back at the Nancy Drew books, I look back at like things I did growing up, and I was like, wow, I was like, it was just right in front of my face, and I just had to be uncomfortable taking risk and be vulnerable and potentially fail to know my interests and my passions.